Some members of Congress are meeting today to discuss the origins of COVID and the early response to the pandemic. And one of the big names testifying is Dr. Anthony Fauci, of course, the former director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, who was also President Biden's top advisor on COVID. Today's testimony with the Republican-led House panel happening behind closed doors, although lawmakers have said they do plan to hold public hearings in the future. Correspondent Nichole joins us live on Capitol Hill. Joe, any insight into Fauci's testimony today?
Well, I can tell you, Nichole, it's really expansive because you've got hours and hours of interviews that he's doing right now behind closed doors, as we mentioned, basically all day. Dr. Fauci on Capitol Hill from 9 a.m. today through 6 o'clock in the evening, and he's going to do the same thing tomorrow. And we're told that what the focus of these questions is really his guidance to former President Trump at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, and then how he played a role, what his role was, what his advice was to both Presidents Trump and Biden as the pandemic progressed. And we're talking about here literally hundreds of questions that he's getting from members of Congress on both sides of the aisle who serve on the committee to investigate the coronavirus pandemic. So this is a committee that was made up just last year with the goal of coming to what the real origins of COVID were, and also trying to make measures and preparations for another pandemic should one break out, so the U.S. isn't as unprepared as we were in 2020. The Republican chairman of this committee is Brad Wenstrup, a Republican from Ohio, and he says that today's interviews are really going to be about hundreds of questions for Dr. Fauci's role as the face of America's COVID-19 public health response. He says Americans demand and deserve explanations for any pandemic-era failures. He says this is an opportunity for Dr. Fauci to explain his COVID-19 policy positions. And Republicans who we've spoken to, they tell us that they've got a couple lines of questioning they want to get to with Dr. Fauci. One is, were American grant dollars going to fund gain-of-function research? There are questions about whether the lab leak theory was downplayed. They want to know about the science behind some of the lockdowns, and they want to know his positions on masking, specifically with respect to children, among other things. Now, Dr. Fauci's testified dozens of times, Nichole, before Congress, answering many of these same questions. So some Democrats, they fear that this is going to be a partisan exercise. They fear Republicans may not be serious, but rather are vilifying Dr. Fauci. But we did get a chance to talk to one Democrat, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, who was actually in the room this morning. She came out and she told us she feels the lines of questions are pretty serious, are pretty thorough, and she says there's a real risk to not having serious information about COVID, but rather having disinformation. She says that makes people distrustful of science, and that has real-world consequences. And I'll let her elaborate here on what she actually felt coming out of that room today.
I do believe that there's a lot of misinformation. And one of my biggest concerns, quite frankly, right now, is that all of what has been said is resulting in a lack of public trust in public health.
And Nichole, hours more, as I said, of interviews left to go for Dr. Fauci today and tomorrow.
So, Joe, Congress not only looking into the origins of COVID, but there are just still questions about the virus itself.
Yeah, and we're exploring this even here at NewsNation. Chris Cuomo's show actually doing pretty extensive work on the question of long COVID, for example. And he had a doctor last night, Dr. William Lee, who explained that there is now a bit more science on a cellular level showing that what people are describing as long COVID, as these symptoms that sort of linger and sort of change the way they respond to all kinds of illnesses and viruses, that there's actually now a bit more cellular information showing that this is happening. There's more to it. So there are a lot of unanswered questions, like how many Americans are experiencing this, how to prevent it, how to deal with it. All of those things, NewsNation is going to continue to follow, specifically Chris Cuomo's show, and try to figure out, what, if anything, the medical community can be doing to try to answer people's questions on that issue, Nichole.
Right, because people, still so many questions. All right, Nichole on Capitol Hill, Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.